not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And people have gotten the impression, they have gotten the idea that I make excuses. I make excuses for the ruffians, the riffraffs, the miscreants, the degenerates of that run wild in the hoods of America. Now, actually, I have been a stern critic of what I consider to be the cancer, of the black community. Not the master manipulator, because when we go into white supremacy, they manipulate things. They control. They're the puppet masters. They own the house. Nothing goes down without their approval, without them knowing about it. So therefore, they don't care when blacks kill other blacks. Is that when it spills over into their realm, then that's when they set off alarms. That's when they set their flare guns off. That's why you have people like scum, like Colin Flaherty, to warn white people, hey, they're coming for us, whatever. They don't care about when blacks, because that's population control. But I'm not going to talk about the master manipulators on this one, even though they're always behind stuff. But I'm going to talk about this cancer, these black degenerates. These people that can't pull their pants up and pulling us down. I'm like, you can't ignore the elephants in the room, and that's the thing. Now, I've been watching this channel called War in Chiraq. It's a channel by DJ Academics, and supposedly all he does on this channel is talk about the gangs in Chiraq and what gangs is going to do to what gangs and what happened here. And it's easy for him to gather up information because a lot of these gangs, a lot of these guys are posting their doings on Instagram. They're posting their doings on social media, on Facebook or whatever, even though they're kind of using codes and things of that nature, but you kind of get the picture. That's the thing. These guys want attention so bad. They're the dumbest. I'm like, these guys are too stupid to be criminals or whatnot. When you post, what I'm saying? When you're on Instagram or whatever, with bags of weed, with bundles of cash, holding a gun, you post multiple pictures like that, and you got a warrant for your arrest. Or you're literally saying who you killed last night, who got knocked off, and that's the thing. So he has an interesting channel, and and I understand that people are tired of talking about Chicago and Chiraq. It goes on, and a lot of black, so-called black communities. I'm saying? Some places are worse than others, like my city, where it's pretty mild here, but I don't know the stats for this year, but last year they said, because they broadcasted on the radio, like 84 homicides. Black people was responsible for 60 of those 84 homicides. Now bear in mind, the ratio between black people and white people, like white people outnumber blacks here in my city like 12-1. So we still have kind of like a large population of blacks, but nothing compared to white people, And that's the thing. Now, in the hoods, even the most decadent hoods, the typical person is not a criminal. The typical person is somebody that just wants to work their job, get their little chicken feed, and just go home. And this cancer that grows amongst them is hard to cut out, because that's where they brood. These type of environments. It's where they can be most active at. I'm like, they can't go inside, and that's one thing I respect about the bikers. One thing, The bikers, you know what I'm saying, they can wreak havoc anywhere. They can catch wreck anywhere. They can go into any neighborhood, and if they want somebody off, they'll take them out. You know, I've saw documentaries on this. These guys constantly keep it moving. As of a lot of these black degenerates, they pretty much stay in one place, you know, and just make life just a whole lot miserable for all those around them. And the thing is, if these guys just off other gangbangers, other guys that choose that lifestyle, then yeah. But when we see kids get killed, kids playing in the playground, people that have nothing to do with that life, people that are studying, that has aspirations and dreams to become something else. These guys got horrible aim. They couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. You know what I'm saying? Just like that girl that was killed in Chicago, that girl that was part of that band that played for Obama. I can't remember her name at this moment. I'm like, this is a female that had prospects, you know, for her future, and she would have became something of herself. But you know what I'm saying? Some miscreants, you know what I'm saying, ended her dreams, and that's the thing. We can't sit around and wait for these guys to evolve. They've chosen their life. I'm like, they like what they're doing, you know. They're sitting around getting high, getting money, getting on Instagram or whatever, showing off their guns, getting pussy, playing PlayStation all day. They do what they want when they want. It's part of their code. You know, for a lot of these guys, they chose that. Sometimes we say, oh, we can wake them up. Let's give them a book. Let's give them a book about ancient Egypt to wake them up, and they'll find out that ultimately, you know what I mean, the white man is trying to get them to kill each other. You know, a lot of them know this, but they really don't care. You know, they've chosen that. They're like, you know, I'd rather do this than work a job. I worked a job and, you know, it didn't pay shit. You know, these guys don't have much skills you know, to get a job that will pay just a livable income, you know. And that's the thing. And in some places it's getting better, you know, crime is going down. In some places it's getting worse, but you know, we got to address this issue, you know. And me personally, I don't feel that black people really have the power to end this. We don't. You know, because as I said, I think in one of my other videos, if we form vigilante squads and just say, hey man, let's just go and let's just take these guys out, then we'll be in trouble. We still have to operate on the confines of the law. So therefore, vigilante groups have to abide by the rules, while the criminal element don't abide by the rules, you know. And that's the thing. And the thing is, these higher ups, the higher powers, knows what's going on, you know. And just like I read an article, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't trust everything I hear on the internet, that the military has put their boots on the ground in Chicago, which is good. At this point, I'm all for it. You know, I know Clifton Rainey, he made a video, no disrespect to Clifton Rainey. He said that Chicago was not like, was no different than any other black city. It's just that Obama comes from Chicago. No. I lived in other cities where there's black people. No, Chicago. I had a girlfriend who lived in Chicago, and I used to come visit her. We was dating for a year, but long distance relationships. I used to watch the news, you know, and I'll be completely you know what I'm saying, flabbergasted, you know, about the cops being killed, about gang. There's always a shooting, always a homicide. This is live news. This ain't internet articles, you know. And that's it's a big contrast from the black people in my city. In my city, a lot of people are worried about people from Chicago coming down here, because a lot of our homicides are people from other cities. As I said, black people here are just mildly, for the most part, very, you know what I'm saying, very productive, you know, even if they do have that image. But yeah, and so forth. But there's a difference there. And you know, as far as the military, I think about Hurricane Katrina. Well, once the flood waters kind of subsided there, those who remember that once things tried to get normal and people start coming into their homes, what has happened, you know what I'm saying, you had a lot of violence there, you know what I'm saying, immediately. It was like you had 5 homicides instantly, to the point where the mayor called for a state of emergency. Well, he did it when there was a flood, but then you had this violence. It's like, okay, the water's gone, and now let the savagery continue, because now, you know what I'm saying, we may be able to get away with it more. It's like there's a natural disaster hit, you know what I'm saying, you have these knuckleheads saying, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to do some dirt, because people are paying attention to that goddamn tornado over there. You know, I'm like, there's no, in a lot of ways, there's no fixing these dudes, you know, and especially you got rap music, you know, which now I'm considering it to be nothing more than demonic chants. I'm like, these guys are just, you know what I'm saying, they're like zombie. Nas made a song called Black Zombie. They just listen to the music and just go like this. You know, black, they're like, this music doesn't even have any soul anymore. Black people are beginning to not have any soul. You know, we used to have soul. Now it's just a bunch of guys going, then get on Instagram with their guns. I'm like, these guys, it's like they operate with pieces of their brains missing. And I'm to the point where these guys just need to go ahead, you know what I mean? It's like when your when your computer, when so many files get affected on your computer with a virus, and then you're saying, man, you gotta just tear everything down, you gotta reboot. There's no saving these files, you know. And some of these dudes, I'm like, what? They got tattoos on their necks and face. They're not going to get a job, you know what I'm saying? And I do feel that there's a chemical imbalance with some of these guys. Maybe how they was born, and maybe the doctors gave them chemicals as a baby, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everything's in the realm of possibilities with me. So they're just something, even the way they look and the way that they stare, you know, something is right. It's not right. I don't think that these guys can be helped, you know, by giving them a job. Oh, here's a job. You know, these guys, if they wanted a job, they would have been had a job. They're like, shit, if I wanted to have a job, I would have sold drugs. So you think that giving me a job is going to get me to stop doing what I'm doing? And, you know, we got to look at things logical here. But, you know, overall, you got to cut out the cancer. You know, sometimes chemotherapy won't work and things like that. You got to get in there with a knife and cut it out and get rid of it. But, you know, with the Black Commonwealth, it just, because these guys use black people as a crook, you know what I'm saying? When they set up the operations, they set many of black people in danger. Not just in danger of stray bullets, but also the war on drugs. You know, I did a video about a lot of the casualties, innocent people that were killed, or, you know what I'm saying, by police, or the police wanted to get this guy and this guy was in the way, or they mistake this guy for that guy. Ultimately, it's part of the police's fault too. You know what I'm saying? You know, the police are race soldiers, like Neely Fuller said. You know, a lot of them. But, you know what I'm saying, these cowards, these black men, these runners, these sprinters, these guys acting on an animal level is, you know what I'm saying, they're bringing problems. I can understand, you know, maybe it's stimulated from slavery and went somewhere else. But why, as I've said before, why can some black people, still the majority of black people got their shit together, majority of black people will say, hey, I work a job, I'm poor, but I'm satisfied with that. I'm not gonna be a savage like this person over here. I'd rather just make my fucking pennies and just live life. You know, they jeopardize everybody around them. You know, and the thing is, I know that there's plenty of white people that come to the hood to buy drugs. You know, white people are going to the most dangerous neighborhood to get their fix. You know, but my time is up. Thanks for watching, and Sally forth.